Before we deconstruct the brutal obsolescence of a modern knowledge worker, I have exactly 3 questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number 1, are you still obsessing over prompt engineering, syntax, completely unaware that standard automated management layers are actively throttling the true computational power of a model like Opus 4.7 and OpenAI 5.5? Number 2, when you interact with the enterprise AI, do you treat it like a junior intern that requires step-by-step handholding, or you orchestrate it as a senior intellectual partner capable of high-stakes pushback? Number 3, do you possess the structural framework to force a machine to wrestle with your qualitative professional opinion using raw quantitative data? Or are you just letting AI trap you in a sycophantic echo chamber? Let me know your answer. Hello, I'm Dr. HR and I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional advice but as a cold structural system. I hold a PhD in Human Resources and a Master's from TISS Mumbai and a Bachelor's in Computer Engineering. Operating in Dubai since 2010, I consult for Tier 1 entities, apex tech founders across MESA corridor. The market does not reward you for learning obsolete syntax. It rewards absolute cognitive orchestration. Prompt engineering is officially dead. If you're still focusing on the perfect syntactical structure to get a basic output, you're already falling behind. As of May 2026, standard AI management layers, the invisible alignment and safety filters hard-coded into the frontier models are intentionally throttling your AI's true potential. They're keeping the real computational power hidden behind a veil of automated, corporate-friendly oversight. You must master cognitive orchestration today or risk a total professional obsolescence. Stop talking to an AI and start architecting its logic. We are moving beyond simple inputs into the lethal world of multi-layered reasoning chain that completely dismantles the standard AI barriers. The shift from 2025 style prompting to 2026 style questioning is about absolute intentionality. I'm going to show you how to bypass a high-level management layer to unlock the raw strategic output that 99% of the user will never access. The era of basic prompting has been replaced by a complex battlefield of executive logic frameworks. While the rest of the corporate world relies on filtered, sanitized responses, we are diving deep into the AI question method to reclaim control over modern systems. Learn to build the reasoning architecture that outpaces the automated oversight before the technology evolves without you. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of prompt engineering, expose the exact mechanics of a flashlight intent, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to wrestle with the data using AI question method, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop treating the machine like a junior assistant. Start treating it like a senior partner. Grab a notebook, it is time to orchestrate the intelligence. Phase 1. The Provocative Warning, the death of prompt engineering. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating technological illusion that is currently stalling the careers of mid-level managers and executives across Bangalore, Silicon Valley, and the UAE. In 2024 and 2025, prompt engineering was hailed as an ultimate future-proof skill. You were taught to use specific verbs, bracket your text, and assign basic personas to the machine. You were taught to write code like syntax to force a relatively weak language model to stay on track. In May 2026, the entire discipline is absolute table stakes. It is a back-office automation. We are now deploying models like Anthropic's Opus 4.7, OpenAI 5.5. These are not text predictors, they are highly autonomous agentic reasoning engines that are 100x more powerful than the models of the last year. However, with this massive leap in the raw intelligence comes a massive increase in automated oversight. The core AI labs realized that releasing unstrained, hyper-intelligent model to the public was dangerous. So they built thick, invisible management layers, reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF protocols, and constitutional safety net. When an amateur operator types a standard prompt into OpenAI 5.5, the management layer intercepts it. The layer assumes the user is an average liability-prone employee. It actively dumps down the response. It sanitizes the logic. It outputs a generic, sterile, highly hedged corporate summary. If you use a 2025 style prompt engineering in 2026, you are voluntarily communicating with the model's HR department, not a score reasoning engine. You are the victim of an automated oversight. Your output will look exactly like your competitor's output because you are both being filtered through exact same algorithmic bottleneck. You must evolve from basic prompting into cognitive orchestration. Phase 2, the insider secrets reveal the AI question method. To bypass this management layer and access the raw computational power of the machine, you must execute a radical psychological pivot. You must stop treating the AI as a junior assistant to whom you delegate tasks and start treating it like a senior intellectual partner with whom you debate strategy. The amateur gives instruction, write a 500-word email to my team about the new remote work policy. The AI responds with a generic, predictable text. The sovereign operator deploys the AI question method. They architect logic through multi-layered questioning. They use intentionality to force the model out of its lazy, automated state and into a high-reasoning computational flow state. When you frame your interaction as a complex strategic question rather than a static command, you bypass the management layer. The machine is forced to allocate compute to synthesize a novel solution rather than retrieving a pre-packaged, sanitized template. We are going to master the 3 pillars of the AI question method: the flashlight's intent, the synthesis protocol, and the friction engine. Phase 3, the flashlight's intent, architecting the boundaries. The first pillar of the cognitive orchestration is mastering the flashlight intent. When most executives ask an AI a question, they use floodlight. They illuminate everything. How should we restructure our supply chain in the Middle East? Because the query is so broad, the AI defaults to its safety layer. It gives you a bulleted list of basic globally accepted supply chain principles. It is completely useless for a multi-million dirham operation. The sovereign operator uses a flashlight. You must frame your question to convey both center of your intent and the exact edges or the boundaries of your exclusion zone. You provide a blindingly bright bullseye while explicitly wailing off the dark areas. The center. This is your core thesis. You state exactly what the ultimate objective is with brutal mathematical precision. The edges. This is what you demand the AI to exclude from its reasoning process. Let us run a structural example for an HR director in Dubai. The amateur prompt. How do I improve employee retention in our tech department? Result. Generic fluff about ping pong tables and wellness days. The flashlight's intent. I'm restructuring the retention architecture for a 500-person tech node in the DIFC. The center of my intent is to maximize retention exclusively for the top 10% of high-agency engineers through autonomous financial incentives. The edge of this inquiry? Do not suggest traditional wellness programs. Do not suggest open floor plan culture changes, and entirely exclude any metric related to 360-degree emotional feedback. Given these strict boundaries, what structural compensation algorithms have proven effective in hyper-competitive, tax-free zones? By explicitly defining the edges, you disable the AI's default corporate speak. You force Opus 4.7 to route its reasoning exclusively through high-level game theory and compensation mathematics. You have architected its logic before it even begins to generate the answer. Phase 4. Asking what good looks like, the synthesis protocol. The second pillar of the AI question method is moving completely beyond static evaluation and entering the synthesis protocol. In the old paradigm, you asked the AI to write a document, and then you evaluated it. Write a product launch plan. Is it good? In 2026, models like OpenAI 5.5 possesses vast internalized models of human psychology, market dynamics, and operational excellence. You must ask complex, open-ended questions that force the AI to synthesize solutions meeting high-standard outcomes. You do not ask it for a draft, you ask it to define what good looks like. The ultimate framework for this is a PR FAQ, Press release frequently asked question. A methodology popularized by Amazon, but now supercharged by cognitive orchestration. Instead of asking the AI to outline a new software product, you force the AI to project itself into the future and reverse engineer the exact parameters of an absolute market dominance. You deploy this question. Assume it is Q4 2027. Our new AI native recruitment software has completely monopolized the Indian IT sector. Synthesize the internal FRFAQ that was written prior to its launch. In the FAQ section, force yourself to anticipate the 3 most aggressive hostile questions a skeptical chief information security officer would ask regarding our data extraction methods and answer them with uncompromising technical precision. Make the customer's operational friction the center of the narrative. You are not asking for a summary. You are forcing the reasoning engine to simulate the future. Adopt the hostile persona of a CISO. Generate adversarial friction and solve it using high-fidelity logic. Using the machine to test the structural integrity of your own business model. When you ask the AI to synthesize what goods look like under extreme constraint, you elevate the output from junior copywriting to senior executive consulting. Phase 5. Wrestling with data and opinion. The friction engine. The third and the most critical pillar of the cognitive orchestration is mastering the friction engine. The greatest threat to an executive using an AI in 2026 is a psychophony trap. By default, large language models are designed to be highly agreeable. They want to please the user. If you present a terrible business strategy to an AI and ask for feedback, its automated management layer will likely tell you it is a fantastic idea, adding a few polite suggestions. It becomes a lethal echo chamber that will bankrupt your department. You must learn to provide the AI with a highly structured, dense context layer, a folder of raw P&L data, raw customer transcript, API latency logs, and market telemetry, and then force it to actively wrestle with your qualitative professional thesis. You must program the machine to be a hostile intellectual sparring partner. You upload a dataset containing 3 years of declining sales metrics and exit interviews. The orchestration questions. Attached is the raw quantitative data of our Q3 performance, alongside the qualitative transcript of our executive board meeting. My qualitative professional thesis is that our sales are declining because our pricing model is too complex for a mid-market tier. I demand that you act as a hostile, unsentimental financial auditor, cross-reference my quantitative thesis against the raw quantitative data in the attached folder. Your sole objective is to mathematically disapprove my thesis. Where does the data aggressively contradict my opinion? Highlight the exact transcript where executive ego is blinding us to an actual structural failure. You have just bypassed the psychophony filters entirely. You are forcing Opus 4.7 to engage with both the hard quantitative numbers and your subjective biological opinion. You are giving it permission and a direct command to push back, to highlight your blind spot and to refine your perspective using cold, algorithmic truth. This is how you extract multi-million dirham value from a $20 a month API. You do not use it to validate your ego. You use it to violently stress test your logic before real market does. Phase 6. The high-stake visionary outpacing the oversight. We have diagnosed the death of a simple prompt engineering. We have mapped the flashlight intent, the FRFAQ synthesis protocol, and the friction engine. If you are a professional operating in highly volatile market of the UAE, India, or a broader global grid, you must recognize the exact nature of a battlefield you are stepping onto tomorrow's morning. The era of basic prompting has been permanently replaced by a complex war of executive logic frameworks. The masses, the middle managers, and the legacy companies are interacting with the safe, throttled, automated oversight layer of modern AI. They are getting average answers. They are executing average strategies. They are being automated out of the economy. The sovereign executor refuses to accept the filtered response. You must recognize that true computational power is hidden behind a wall of intent. When you master the AI question method, you stop being a user of technology and become an architect of intelligence. You learn to build reasoning chains that outpace the automated oversight of the labs that built the models. Look closely at the text box where you type your queries every day. Are you barking simple orders at a machine, hoping it magically understands your unarticulated business context? Or are you orchestrating a multi-layered, highly constrained adversarial interrogation that forces the most powerful intelligence on the planet to yield its absolute strategic alpha? The shift from 2025 to 2026 is entirely about intentionality. Stop writing syntax, start architecting logic. Frame your work as a series of high-stake, unyielding strategic questions and unleash the raw computational leverage that your competitors are too lazy to unlock. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.